Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 4 with another team adventure. This time we are going racing with some C-Class cars. However, they had to remain two-wheel drive. I have got a Scirocco. It's mostly power stuck into the Scirocco. I say mostly power stuck into the Scirocco. Apparently the other team has inadvertently ended up with all the American cars. So, while I have about 230, something along those lines with the Scirocco, it's a decent chunk of power in a C-Class car. It is, fairly light. It doesn't quite have the same power as, well, the American machinery. And we are starting down at the very back, although I tell you what, it doesn't half shift. Look at it go! Christ, the Scirocco has got some serious pace about it. Now, of course, to get all of this power in C-Class, there have been some sacrifices. I mean, the tyres, for example, we are on standard tyres in the Scirocco, which are, well, not great, and not exactly particularly large tyres either. This particular circuit that we're starting at, there are two schools of thought, really. You can have enough straight line speed for the back straight. It is helpful to be the fastest car down that straight. However, if you have all the speed in the world and absolutely no grip, you will lose too much through these corners. So it is a very delicate balancing act between having a car. The two ways you can win it is either you have a fast enough car down the straight and you're still just about good enough through the corners, or you are so good through the corners and not that much down in terms of straight line speed that it sort of evens itself out. And it's often interesting to see what might happen. The Ford Puma is new to the game. Jeez, the Scirocco is actually pulling on the Fury at the moment. I'm quite impressed with that. It won't quite match the Fury's ultimate top end, probably, but the fact that we're pulling all the way down that straight actually gives me some confidence here that we may be able to cause some grief. Now, Blue Team they started off very strong. Red Team, we started fighting back a little bit in this one. Can we have a look for a way past? Now, of course, Fury, it's a big boat of a car. It's not an easy thing to overtake necessarily. It's just there's a lot of car to try and find a way to get past. I'll be a little careful through here. My best bet may actually be set it up out of the final corner somehow. Now, I don't know if anybody's going to be on rally tyres in this. I would think unlikely, not impossible that someone might try it, but not many cars will get rally tyres and stay in C-Class, and those that do will probably not be very quick at most circuits. Be very good on the dirt, sure, but they are going to severely lack power. So we are, the Ford is right there. It is actually very quick through the technical section, but it cannot match, because nowhere near matching me or the Fury in terms of straight line speed. The Fury is going to defend into the first corner here. We think about trying to go around the outside, and it does not work. It's a very long way around on the outside of that corner. Can it be done? Absolutely, but you need to have more grip than I currently do here. Oh, come on. That was not a good corner. We're going to have to take a couple of attempts at trying to get the car turned in. See, the Puma is now starting to catch, and this could be a problem for me. See, the Puma doesn't necessarily want to be sat behind the Scirocco all the way around here. It's got a lot more grip than I do, and it's a lot quicker than both me and the Fury through these corners. However, it will just get slaughtered when we get to the straight. Now, it can fire itself up the inside. In fact, the Fiat may do so as well. It's probably going to end up beating both of them to the start-finish line here. The problem is it kind of fires me out wide, and I don't know if any of us can now catch the Fury particularly. We've only got a lap or so. I had a bit of an iffy lap, which was a problem for me in that one. Oh, come on now. Come on, Volkswagen. You can do this. We can maybe go chasing off after that Plymouth. Because, we're going to end up annoying our teammate, but both of us maybe stand a chance of getting past the Fury. I don't know. It's very difficult to tell. It's very difficult to tell. In the end, by the looks of the points, with how this is lined up, it might not matter all too much whether we can beat that or not. The Ford is going to get us there. We're not going to be able to fight that through there. It's going to go chasing off after the Fury. He's going to outhandle massively through this next corner. We're going to be stuck on the outside. We might be able to just get the run we need on the exit here. Now, if a Fury and Ford do fight one another too much, well, there could be a golden opportunity for a Scirocco to sneak its way past, potentially in a drag race towards the finish line. The Ford can move across, it doesn't matter too much. However, I'm probably not going to fight the Ford all too much on this final lap. In many ways, I think the best bet for red team to get a win, and even for me to pass the Fury, is let the Ford chase it down. If we let the Puma chase after the Fury, let the Puma find a way past, it may still get out-dragged, but it may bring the Fury back towards me, and I think I can actually outrun the pink machine. So maybe we do that. Yeah, the Ford has got some speed. It has got some speed indeed. Christ, is being super brave. There was space for a Puma there, and it made the most of it. The Fiat is going to try and go underneath. I don't know whether that missed the checkpoint or not. No, it did apparently get it, which does surprise me. I don't think it's going to matter for the Puma. I think it's going to still get caught on the run to the line. No, the Fury made a little mistake out of the final corner. I think the Puma might actually get this one in the end. Sadly, we had a bit of an iffy final section as well. We both lose out to the handling cars in the end of that one. A good race, though. A very, very good race. A very strong race for Red Team as well, as it turned out. So, we head next off-road. The Highland Farm Scramble will be our track. Now, it's fast around here. There is no doubt about that. Fast dirt roads, some kind of quite nasty medium-speed corners. Probably won't be too bad for the likes of the Scirocco, for the likes of the Fury. They are likely to be pretty good here. It could come undone, though, on some of the corners. Now, as I said, I don't know if anyone's got rally tyres. I don't think there is. Judging by the looks of the launches, I don't think there is anyone in particular with rally tyres. Certainly nobody shot off the line with a huge amount of speed, so yeah, I don't think anyone has got rally tyres. That Camaro is certainly struggling for straight line speed. Oh, we're going to sneak our way kind of past. Got to be very careful with the lack of grip like that. For example, we just cannot carry as much speed as I might ideally be wanting to through some of these corners. I have hit that tractor before, trying to be sneaky, so let's, preferably, let's not go and do that one again. Blue team are off to a good start in this. We don't know how it's going to pan out. They're off to a good start in the previous one. We are all over the back of the Camaro, basically pushing it down here, but I can't really find a way past, even if I try and pull my car off. We're going to go to the outside. Much as the Fury has gone to the outside of the Ford, although our teammate is likely to probably have a dive, we will try and cut back underneath. It is not quite enough, although it's just as soon as we get onto this tarmac, off we shoot into the distance, away from the Camaro. Now, let's not go and do what we did last time around. I think we were on slightly funky lines previously. We're on a little bit funny lines through some of these corners. If we can get the driving better, we can sort our car out a little bit better, then that would be good. That's nicely done through. Then we can see how much more speed that Ford is able to take, but we also could see how much it lacks, as soon as we come up a hill. It is kind of balancing itself out a little bit over the course of a lap. I think it is a little slower around this circuit than it was at the first one. This is a more straight line speed orientated track. We went a very, very difficult way around. I think Stanley was expecting me to fire up the inside, and I didn't. We had to make it super difficult. Sadly, a lot of our cars are not working here. Even though we have a 2-3, it won't even matter if one of us or both of us even finds a way past the Fury. We've got too many cars further back that are simply not working. Could have missed checkpoints, I don't know. Come on now, Scirocco. Let's see if we can chase down the big Plymouth. We are better through these turns than the Fury here. We're carrying a lot more speed through these corners. And as I said, I think we do actually outrun it. Certainly we out-accelerate it for quite a while. Whether it's overall, I don't know. We're trying to get to the door. We're alongside. There was just space for a Plymouth on the outside there. Didn't quite go to the wall. If you want to take out the fences, be my guest. I'm not going to go through there. It loses me too much momentum. Being a small, little, lightweight Volkswagen, we are attached to the back of the Fury, much like we were with the Camaro. I don't think it realised I'd quite got alongside. We were there. Can I outbrake it into turn 1? That is the question. No, I can outbrake myself massively, though. We got bobbling around on the bumps, and I could not get it stopped, and that might have thrown any chance I had winning the race. Annoyingly, it was just too big a dive. Under brakes through there, sadly. Now, can I do enough in 2 laps? I really don't know. It's very, very close between the 3 of us here. Points-wise, as I said, it is not going to go our way, barring a big, big swing. Can I do anything from back here? I'm liking that tighter line through there. That does seem to be working. And again, if we have a similar situation of the Ford battling with the Fury and they both end up going slow, that works for me. I don't think the Fury's all that happy around here at the moment. We're going to go back to the side-by-side where we were last lap around. This time I've got a lot more speed. I'm going to get boxed in by my teammate. Oh god, let's not go 3 wide towards turn 1. Christ, this is insanity. 3 wide towards turn 1 is not going to be a good idea. We are back on the inside. We got pushed forward. We got pushed out of the first corner. Come on, Scirocco. Run away. Run away from that big pink barge, please. Let's just get out of trouble as best we can. Let's try and keep it together somehow for this lap. If we can get into these corners cleanly, I think we stand a good chance. Yeah, you can see the gap that we can pull a little bit there on the Fury. I'm not sure the Ford can quite match the speed that I have in the Scirocco. It can kind of match the Fury if the Fury's a little compromised, like it's a tiny bit compromised, either battling with me or something. But I don't think it's quite got the pace of either of the top 2 cars. But I think the Scirocco is the best around this circuit, curiously. Maybe that just a little bit less weight is quite helpful in this one. Doesn't have massive tyres at all, the Scirocco. But in C-Class, maybe a little bit better. Though we actually have flown away from the cars behind. We will take a victory. The Volkswagen will get a victory in the adventure. Oh, have we managed to swing the points at the death? How did we do that? Oh, not quite. It's really close. It's a battle over 9th, I think? Maybe that might make all the difference in this one. There certainly was. So we did have the win briefly. It has now gone away from us, sadly. Oh, I thought we'd got it. I thought we'd snuck it at the death, but not quite. Not quite. The victory wasn't enough. In the end, we are 150 points down. Good race nevertheless, though. So, we head next to Broadway. To the village circuit. It's always a fun one. This one is always an interesting track. Quite like it for some racing. Now, much like the Greendale circuit, you have a long straight. You have a couple of straights where if you do have that bit more power, it is quite nice. I think we may come undone against the handling cars. Now, the handling cars, the Ford, the Fiat, were very, very quick at that previous circuit. May struggle, possibly, to beat them here, but we're going to have to find out. We are actually going to get to the lead, I should think, actually, as we race down towards turn 1 here. We might get to the lead if we can hold any sort of speed through the corners, and that is the big difficulty here. I'm not sure about being able to do much about the Pumas. Oh, that's a really awful place to come out of ghost mode. That's horrifically bad. When I didn't even realise there was a car in the ghost pile there, and then it suddenly pings out, and now I've got to deal with it. Oh, we saw the threat of the Scirocco, and they did certainly move across to cover it. Can we have a look up the inside? No, we'll be a little bit careful through there. I mean, we have got 2 Pumas currently up in 1st and 2nd for Red Team, which is nice. They ended up on the same team by accident. Oh, that's not what we want. There's a little bit of argy-bargy throw there. The Tirana's got some good grip, so I don't know what tyres that's on. Obviously, better tyres than I have. Oh! We're going to come shooting past. Right, it's 50 points to the good for us. I mean, we know me and the Plymouth are very, very similar sort of cars here. Very different sort of cars and similar sort of cars all at the same time. Similar style of builds on very different cars. Whether I'm going to be able to fend off we have got, it's got sort of tyres warmed up, if you like. Getting the hang of this circuit. Can I have a look here to the inside? Yeah, so you're going to be on such a horrific tight line, and I haven't got the grip. That's why I backed out of it. Chris, on what became a much more sensible line for me, you already saw how much understeer we get. Just we don't have the turning ability in this car. We can't do anything about the leader. Not only do we have a bit of a scrappy first lap fighting each other at about everything, even now we're in mostly clean air. There are no real answers to that thing. That is damn quick. Can we have a go into the first corner against the Fury? We're going to give it a try. The Fury's going to try and tough it out on the outside. We're still side by side through all of this. It is a long way around the outside of this next corner. Now I'm going to try and not understeer my way into the door of that Plymouth. Oh, we're still there. We're still stuck side by side. We're now going to be on the outside up here. Oh, God. How far around the lap can we go before someone has to yield? Still side by side. Surely something's got to give it here. Oh, we can't get stopped. The Fury wanted to go for a cutback, but it could not quite get underneath the Scirocco, and I think it ended up out wide on the grass. I mean, again, has that cost us a gap a little bit to the leader? Sure. That's not what's making the bigger difference around here. Not in the slightest. We're going to exit out of the final corner. I mean, us two, despite our big old battle, have actually pulled away. I think the Fiat is probably quite quick, but that has been stuck, ensnared in traffic, if you will. Oh, a little bit of a lock-up from me as we get stopped for turn 1. I like this car, you know. I have to say, it's not going to work. It's not going to work everywhere. There's absolutely no doubt about that one. The Puma is a bloody good handling car by the looks of it, and it's not too bad in terms of straight line speed. This track, well, if your car is good enough handling, the lack of straight line speed down that main straight can be a little bit irrelevant, especially if you can get in clean air. Now, if the Ford was stuck behind me, I could probably make its life miserable. That is sometimes the way it goes. When you have all that speed and you can defend well, you can make a car's life or a driver's life very miserable, just being unable to find a way past. But yeah, when it's on its own, it is quicker than I am. It's looking pretty good for Red Team, actually. Again, we've got one car down at the bottom, but the rest are scoring very, very good points in this one. Around, maybe not third gear through there. So my car does not have an upgraded gearbox. I ran out of PI. Or should we say, it was built. I was quite happy with it, and then I realised the gears were a smidge funky. They're not terrible. They are quite long. That might not be a terrible idea for front-wheel drive and crappy tyres. It might actually help curtail some wheel spin, but regardless, it was going to take a bunch of PI to swap the gearbox, so I figured it wasn't that bigger an issue. I've just got to remember a little bit that the gears are quite long in this one. Sometimes leaving it in third, for example, is not the best idea. By the looks of it, we're going to come around. It's going to be a 1-2 for Red Team. I think we've had the same podium in all 3 races so far in varying different... no, not quite, of course. In the first race, I got beaten by the Fiat. Almost. Varying orders, though. We are going to take a second place for the Volkswagen. Well, it's going to be victory for Red Team. Here we're going to take a 2-1 lead overall. We are going to have to go off-road though next, which can be interesting. Yeah, it was not Blue Team circuit, that one. So, for our 4th round, this could be the round that Red Team take victory. But we are off-road, and unlike the previous off-road circuit, this is pretty much all dirt. Not quick. Well, okay, it's not quite as slow as Ambleside, but it's still got some slow speed corners. Now that is where some cars may come into their own. The Fords may be a little too fast for me. We're gonna have to wait and see, really. Yes, there is the kind of drag race up the hill on the tarmac, that it is quite good if you can have a little bit of power for it. But I fear we are just going to be so woefully outclassed. For corners such as this one, I may have trouble repeating the Scirocco's feat of a race victory on the dirt. But You never know. And we do know that the blue team cars are definitely much happier on the dirt, certainly, than a lot of our cars. As I said, tyres unsure of, but I say how you built a car can... oh god, we just cannot. We just have not got the grip through some of these corners. Now, I'm happy to almost let my teammate go, as much as I want to beat the Ford. It is still a team adventure at the end of the day, and, you know, I could let my teammate go to chase after the Camaro up at the front. Be careful of the rolly bump on the outside. I do wonder whether that Camaro may possibly have rally tyres. It was lacking a lot of straight line speed, which would be the case if you put it on rally tyres. It hasn't really been anywhere so far, but it's doing well here. Does generally suggest a more rally focused build could be happening on that car. We've caught up, but oh, there goes the understeer into turn 1. Yeah, we cannot really do all of that much. That must be on rally tyres, I would think. The speed that's taking through there in comparison to not just me, but to the Puma that's been the best handling car probably in the field. That's an interesting, it's a brave choice. It'll pay off on a circuit like this one. It will pay off on a circuit like this one. Because I just cannot do enough back here. Oh, we've got company. I think the MG might as well. You know, that would explain... in C-Class, you probably get a even more extreme noticeability between rally tyres and not. Certainly at a track like this where it is going to make a difference, even though the cars aren't massively crazy quick. That's the theory. That's what I'm thinking, although I think the MG just missed a checkpoint, so... that's slightly ruined their day, unfortunately. God. Come on, Scirocco. You see, we can be close, owing to just that sheer power, but it isn't close enough over a lap. We're going to pass the Camaro. We need it to make a mistake somewhere. Well, we say we need it to make a mistake, or I need to just drive an absolutely astonishing lap or two. Sometimes I can do that. It's only sometimes, though, really. What are the points? Oh, the points have actually swung back into our favour now with missed checkpoints and other goings-on. I think there have been some missed checkpoints potentially further back as well. We did have cars stuck at the bottom of the table, so we may actually wrap this one up here. Oh no, we're way too deep into the hairpin, although the Camaro is quite wide on the exit, nothing too bad. We're going to climb back up towards this final corner. I'm kind of having to throw caution to the wind with that bump, and my hope is just I don't roll. I want to be on that line. I probably shouldn't be throwing caution to the wind when it's not the... I mean, it's not the most finely balanced team, delicately balanced team adventure in terms of points. But still, if I roll and miss a checkpoint, we will, we would probably fall to the point where we weren't winning the team adventure anymore. We're closer this lap around than we were last. God, but I just cannot carry the speed through turn 1 that the Camaro can. How on earth are we going to find a way past it, if we're going to find a way past it? I could really do with it making a mistake, maybe out of the hairpin, or out of the final corner or something. I just have to be close enough for the straight. But I think this lap we're further back than we have been before. We're trying to avoid the water through there. Don't want to hit the water, it slows us down. You lose that little bit of momentum, and for this, literally every little bit of momentum is going to be so very, very important. We are running away from Stallion's Ford at this point. And we're good onto the tarmac. Okay, maybe a little bit less good. Just wanted to get on that power, just being too greedy with the throttle. We get a bit more understeer than I wanted and end up in the fence. Come on, Scirocco. No, we've kept the gap about exactly the same. Ooh. I mean, with that, there's literally one slip-up from the Camaro and the Volkswagen will be passed. That is all it's going to take. However, the Camaro is good out here. Camaro is very good. I mean, that's the fun with these team adventures. You can build a specialist car. Now, you do kind of need a little bit of the rest of the team cars to be working. I think a couple of missed checkpoints might have scuppered blue team slightly around here. Oh, there was a bump on the wall. It's going to have lost a little bit of time. I mean, I'm probably closer than I have been going into the hairpin last lap around, but I wasn't exactly side by side at the run to the finish line either. So it's really hard to know where I need to be. It's really hard to know whether this is close enough. I mean, the Camaro's also taking this. It knows it's got to get away from me. It knows how much speed I'm going to have going up the hill. I think it might be safe. It's going to be close. It might be closer than it was last lap around as well. Here comes the absolutely charging Volkswagen. Could we really make something happen here on the run to the finish line? We've got a lot of speed. No, it's not quite enough. It's really close, though. We come across the line. It's going to be second. The Camaro takes it, but we were right. I gave it absolutely everything in that one. We absolutely flew with that Scirocco, and we were catching one more lap and maybe, although one more lap and maybe we would have made a mistake somewhere, or, you know, it's always, you never know. However, we were flying at the end of that one. It's going to be a second, but Red Team are going to score enough points. We are going to take the adventure. Blue Team playing for honour in this next and final race. So, this is it. The Prince's Street Garden Circuit will be the final race with these two-wheel drive C-Class cars. I've not got a terrible spot on the grid. The Camaro is starting ahead of me. The Fury is starting alongside. We have got one of the Pumas ahead. The faster Puma, I think, is a little further back. We'll see what we can do. I'm not sure this is going to be a track that really works for me. Not against the Ford. Against the rest of the field, quite possibly. But one Ford looks a little bit too quick for me to be able to do all that much about. So, I mean, the Camaro is on the rally tyres, that I believe it is, that will have a lot of grip. Rally tyres are, generally speaking, your second grippiest tyres, which is all very well and good. It can be quite helpful, but you're going to suffer in terms of straight line speed. You're going to suffer massively, and especially when you've got, you're going to be 2 and almost 3 wide through there. It's going to fall too far back. On a clean lap, it might be relatively fast around here, but in actual racing situations, you're going to struggle. Oh, I wanted to go there, but it's one of those forever closing gaps that you're just not going to find a way past. We might have to look for a brave move on the Fury if we're going to get this done. A simple pass is probably not going to be on. Now, the Puma may want to try and go up the inside through this final corner. Honestly, the final corner is not an easy place to pass, unless you're exactly side by side with somebody. Getting past in that final turn is iffy. And the Ford may be in for a bit of a frustrating race, to be honest with you. Between me and the Plymouth, we can probably defend quite well and make quite the roadblock around this one. As the Ford it's already sat behind us, you can just see every so often the bonnet shows up. The Camaro is keeping up as well. In fact, Camaro's up the inside of the Ford as we come off of that hairpin, and once again we launch the Scirocco towards the next corner. We outrun the Fury, but maybe not quite by enough. What side is it going to go? It's going to defend the inside. Now, we are going to have to go. If we're going to make this work, we've got around the outside of one corner. It will be on the inside for the next one. Park it on the apex, which we do. Stop, and now run away. Scirocco, go, 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 go. Get away from that Plymouth as much as you can. They threw a bicycle at me. But, yeah, we've got to try and get as far away from the Fury as we can and hope against hope that it slows down the Ford, because I don't know if I can fend off the Ford for the rest of these laps. But if the Ford is held up for maybe another lap, maybe it takes a lap to get past the Fury, that's just, a lap of less pressure for me. I can just build a gap, I know, we're racing against our team. Our teammate, should we say, but the adventure is won, and we're fighting for honour now. This is, can we get, also points-wise we're actually doing quite well in this race as well, but can we get the Scirocco to a win on a tarmac circuit here? We have dropped the Camaro, and in fact, the Ford is having a really, really tough time against the Fury at the moment. These straights are just long enough, and the Fury just wide enough, almost, that the Ford cannot simply breeze past. I think it will get round. I think it will just go around the outside at some corner eventually. But it is difficult. It's always the battle. I mean, we've seen if it gets in clean air how quick it can go. But that's sometimes the fight you have to do with the handling cars. You just get stuck. Oh, I actually did a really bad final corner. That is not what I wanted at all. We can run away and build a little bit of a gap. The good news from me is we're faster than the Fury, and we probably stop better than it. We're much lighter than the Plymouth, so we have probably got the Fury covered as long as I don't make any silly errors. We don't want to miss the apex like that too much. You get away with it on that corner, of all corners, You will get away with it. We are going to try... Oh, we got punted forward in that one, and that is game over. And the Ford is now into clean air. And that's that. I don't know whether we got we got a sudden very large amount of acceleration, which makes you wonder whether we got a smidge lag bump. But whatever, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we get fired forward, and that is it. We've let the Ford through, and that is our day done. Unfortunately, I mean, we're always going to chase across the road to stop the car getting up the inside. Yeah, the Ford's in clean air now, and is going to just run away from that. We have a lap to try and find a way past the Fury that I think may have actually lifted to let us go in that one. Yeah, unfortunately, in terms of beating the Ford, it's a slight disappointment, but that is racing, especially with these, say, slightly more difficult to drive cars. It's easy to misjudge where you need to get on the brakes for these, especially the big boat. You know, they are not. You brake very early with these cars, especially with the compared to like the Puma. In all of this one, where is that? Oh, it's the Fiat has caught up as well. I forgot about the Fiat. Fiat was very quick actually. That seemed to have. It's very quick in places. I don't think it had really nice grid spots. And that, you know, is a lot to overcome sometimes around. There's only so much you can do. When you start 12th in a bunch of races, you get a lot of cars to try and overtake. It's fun, like, don't get me wrong. Working your way through the pack when you have a quick car is good fun, but winning races is very difficult when you have to overtake the entire field or however many cars it might be. We're going to come across the line. The Scirocco put on a good show, I have to say. I've been pleased with the performance of the car. We did not quite have... Well, we kind of had an answer to the Puma in some situations. You know, we could match the Puma, we could give it trouble in various situations, which is always good to know. Yeah, it was quick, difficult to drive in places, surprisingly good, or fairly decent off-road. We had some very, very close battles, some very, very close finishes along the way as well, which is often the more important thing. But that is going to be it for this particular adventure. If you would like to sign up and take part in the next one, you can via our forums. There is a link in the description. Find the FailRace versus the community section, and you can sign up in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.